Ladies and gentlemen, joined here at Absolute MMA Collingwood with the Eternal Welterweight champion, Joseph Luciano. Mate, welcome.
Thanks, mate. It's good doing one in person, you know. I hate doing them over the phone or on Zoom, so it's nice to have you here at HQ.
Now, first of all, do you enjoy the media side? Because obviously as you climb up the ladders of MMA, you have to do it a little bit more.
I've probably got a face for radio, not so much doing the media stuff, but it's part of the gig in this day and age. So, look, ideally, I'd be fighting someone in an empty room with no one watching and it'd be bare knuckle to the death, but we can't do that these days. So, you know, this is just like, unfortunately, it's as important as me, you know, doing some cardio. So, same.
Well, I mean, I wanted to ask you about that as well, is fighting bare knuckle to the death. What's your involvement with fighting and MMA in general? Like, did you grow up being a tough kid that got in a lot of trouble, or?
I thought I was tougher than I was, probably, you know, in reflection. But yeah, I love to scrap, and every sport I played soccer like a fighter. I played basketball like a fighter. I never played like a soccer player. So I suppose it was just bound to happen, really.
I guess that's how, I'm just going to make this about me for a second. But with comedy and stuff and radio, it was always like, I was always going to be like a funny teacher. Yeah. Or if I was a doctor, it was going to be a funny doctor. Yeah. Where you were just going to fight people no matter what.
Yeah, like, I never forget, I was probably 12 and was playing pretty high-level soccer, and one of the other dads said to my mum, geez, that boy plays with his heart on his sleeve, and it's like he's fighting every tackle. My mum told me after, and I went, fuck, I wanted to be the graceful, like, Ronaldo type, but I ended up being the butcher up the back. So, you know, it is what it is, and I think I found something that suits that, you know.
And, like, even with your MMA career so far, you've fought more than the average person. I mean, you've had all of your extensive amateur career. Do you face burnout at all?
I think I face burnout from life more than I face burnout from fighting. So this is like the release. This is the great thing I get to do. It's a fucking grind, I'm not going to lie, but I do enjoy it. So I probably got burnt out in my early 20s because I missed a lot of the golden years of partying and chasing girls and stuff. So I did that a little later than most. But, you know, for the last, I think, 9 years now, I haven't stopped. Like, I'll do something every day. If we plan a holiday, it's so I can train as well as, I'm obsessed.
Still chasing girls and partying at all?
Well, I am, but, you know, let's not tell my wife that. She's going to, I think she's outside waiting, so she's going to fucking kill me for that comment. But definitely not chasing girls or partying much anymore.
No, you were just in Thailand, yeah?
Yeah, chasing girls and partying.
A few little training pics. So she's like, oh, he's training hard.
I compressed that in one day, got the shorts changed, and so I've been going over to Thailand a lot the last sort of 8 months. I've probably spent half my time there. Just, you know, you're talking about that burnout, change of scenery is good. You know, different skill set over there to what we get here. So yeah, I'm just enjoying that, and I feel a bit of a new lease on life in a way, you know, getting over there and having some sunshine and getting a tan and eating some too spicy food and getting staff like everyone else. So yeah.
Are you training at the Absolute MMA in Thailand?
Yeah,
or?
Correct. So we've got 3 gyms in Melbourne, and then we've got one in Rawai in Phuket, Thailand, which is in a great spot, and the trainers there are absolutely fucking fantastic. So yeah.
And is it obviously not just Thai boxing these days in Thailand? There's a lot of like jiu-jitsu and grappling.
Yeah, I think Phuket in general has become a bit of a mecca because the cheap cost of living. There's so many gyms that had the Muay Thai. Originally, foreigners were going over for the Muay Thai, and then in the last 8 years, the MMA's picked up there, and, you know, we've got a full facility there. So we've got a cage and fence panels, and we just had the Craig Jones camp out there. So yeah, there's plenty on. And
you're pretty fortunate here in Australia with obviously Absolute MMA, the boys at Freestyle in New South Wales, and Scrappy and that in Western Australia. There seems to be almost like a development of super camps lately.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think Australians, whatever we do, we always overachieve for our population. And, that's just those 3 camps. I'm sure there's probably 5 others that would say, hey, how come you haven't spoken about us? But it's a combat sport explosion at the moment, and it's fantastic to see with the quality of guys we've got in the UFC and other organisations as well. Like, you forgot Smeat and Grange in there.
Oh, yeah. How dare I?
Yeah. So I think Whittaker's going to come and spin kick you.
Well, good. And then we'll do an interview the whole time. I do this for clicks these days, mate.
I've noticed that actually with some of the questions you've been asking, mate.
Like what?
I think you've been teeing up a Lisa Amina rematch. So are you sent here by Freestyle? How much are they paying you? Joe Lopez, the masterminder.
I did have him on.
I knew it. I fucking knew it.
I just love, look, as a fan, I just love when fights mean more. And like, no, stay with me. You know how there's like, obviously like to purists or people that like mixed martial arts, right? You love just watching the best fighters in the world. But have you ever been out at 4 a.m. and you see your best friend fighting with like his ex-girlfriend's new boyfriend, and they're horrendous fighters, but the fight means more because you know the story.
Fuck. I don't know. Like, for example, I'm a purist, as I said, back room, no gloves to the death. But watching that Turkish guy pull out the chicken at the weigh-in, oh man, that was comedic gold. He doesn't even speak English, mate. That was the best thing to happen on the local scene, I think.
Yes, of course. Emrah Hekamoglu, who brought a chicken to the weigh-ins because Colby Thickness had to pull out of his fight from freestyle MMA. He has now nicknamed him Colby Chickness, which is weird because obviously Colby's such a lovely kid, and it's actually a heartbreaking sort of injury. And if you know him, you feel really bad. But then this guy's gone along and bringing out a chicken.
Look, without a doubt, Colby would have pulled out with a completely founded reason. No one at this level is a fucking pussy, So, but the chicken thing was fucking funny, and I don't get the chicken reference because I've just been in Asia and there's fucking cockfights and those things go hard. Chickens they're fucking dinosaurs, man. So yeah, it was that made me laugh. But yeah, you're stoking the flames a bit, I think, mate. So.
No, I'm showing everyone where the fires are.
Okay.
I'm not starting them. Yeah. I'm like, hey guys, look over there, there's a fire.
Fair call.
And then I'm maybe flicking a cigarette butt every now and then.
Yeah, that's cool.
Well, speaking of starting fires, Kit Campbell versus Kevin Doucet, Hex middleweight, welterweight, fighting for the welterweight belt. Yeah. What's your thoughts on that fight as a whole?
I think that is 2 extremely dangerous, high-level guys. 50-50 fight. Whoever shows up better on the night, that's the most wishy-washy answer I could possibly give you. I think early, Kit's the big threat for the KO. Late, Kevin's the big threat with the submission or going to smother him. That is a fucking fantastic fight.
Now, I don't know much about necessarily as much about the Melbourne scene as I do the Perth, but with Kit Campbell over at Australian Submission Academy, is that just Barack Salmon and Jake Matthews? Or is he mixing it up with other guys?
I actually don't know, but that's a pretty good couple of training partners to have right there, and I'm sure that Emrahan is swinging around by his toenail on Kit. So yeah, I'm not too sure about the goings on training partners wise at their gym. I know they probably cross train a few other places, and that's 2 really good bodies to work with.
Who would you like to fight out of Kit and Kevin?
See, this is you throwing the
I didn't say why.
No, for sure. But this is journalism at its finest, I suppose. They both present different problems, which will require different solutions from me. Either of them's an exciting match. Yeah.
So you're calling them both shit?
I'm calling them both high-level athletes that I'm obviously going to beat if we have to. So be interesting.
Well, I've talked to Callum Potter about you before, and you are one of the most not overly confident, but you know that you are number 1, correct? Like you are you have believed that you were number 1 for the longest time.
Was that relayed to you because I've never said that. It's true, obviously.
Okay, I'll give you the exact quote from Callum Potter, the Callum the Rockstar Potter, who said that apparently he had not been giving your dues enough.
It's so funny. I have been overseas fighting a lot, and I think a lot of people maybe discredited what I did as an amateur and all of that jazz, and then coming back in Oz, now people's eyes are on me a little bit, so it's nice to have that respect. Look, I believe that I'm number one in the country, and I believe I'm ready for the next step, and I have been for a while. So, of course, I'm going to say I'm the best in the country and Mr. Worldwide. Hopefully have a crack at some big fish. So, yeah, of course, I'm going to say that, man.
Do we have any insight on if you will get a chance to fish at the lake to find the big fish?
Perhaps not.
So what's the deal with, let me ask you bluntly, are you signed exclusively to Eternal?
I am signed exclusively to Eternal.
Does that stop bigger promo? I'm assuming it doesn't stop like if the UFC comes a knocking.
No. So definitely, as you've seen with Jack Jenkins and Jack Della, there's an out clause for the UFC. So, they've got that double show, UFC and Eternal in September. I'd love to get on that, defend, and then, get the call up. If not...
The next night,
I can fight every day. So, but look, if I get signed for Sydney, that'd be fucking awesome. If I don't, I'd love to fight on Eternal, and that's a perfect showcase to have that in front of. Hopefully, some of the UFC brass will be there. So the UFC's the goal, man.
Is there anyone, because obviously the Kit and Kevin fight is happening. I mean, there's obviously time by September, but is there anyone out there that you think is next?
It's pretty murky at the moment. I think there's a couple of cards coming up, so we'll see who wins in decisive fashion, who doesn't, and then what options Eternal will bring forth, and then we'll go from there.
Are you aware of, is Matt Vale still active?
Yeah, so if you look at that top 5, there's a few guys that are active with some good records, so we'll see what happens. To be honest, due to the nature of what I've done with fighting people I don't know on a daily basis overseas or whatever, I don't really go, I want that guy. I don't know if that's the best way of going at it, because that guy might be injured or he might not fight. So what I'm going to do is going to wait for the options to come forward, and then hopefully one will bite.
Because I do feel like you have, and this is just an honest fan opinion, but it does seem like you have everything to lose right now in Australia. Like, even though this Kevin and Kit fight is big, right, I think personally you're sitting atop number one, and that's why I wanted to ask you that question, is because some people like waiting until the UFC comes a knocking.
That's very flattering. That you've said I'm the number one welterweight in the country.
Well, when I release this video, I'll be out of Melbourne. So.
Yeah, okay, because that's probably a good idea, because there's a few guys that might be coming for you. Lucky
who
you're out in Perth. I think any of that top 5 will disagree with you, so he's got a fucking target on his back. But you're good with me, mate. All right. And this is my hometown. I live 70 metres from the gym, so you're all right around here. You get further west, you might be in strife.
No, mate, but it's like, look, it's been interesting, obviously, to chat, and I watched your fight against, obviously, Caleb Rideout, and you put on such an amazing performance, real dominant performance, but it's good to see the other side of you. You're not necessarily a shit talker, but you are a very interesting personality.
I wouldn't say I'm a shit talker. I don't believe in that. I will state facts for sure. And I also am supremely confident, and I believe in myself due to the nature of what I do, which is in the training room and how hard I work. So is it arrogance? Yeah, I suppose, maybe. But I believe it's founded for sure.
And I'll just finish you off with this. After it's all said and done, how does Joseph Luciano want to be remembered in mixed martial arts?
I want to be remembered as the guy with the best eyebrows in mixed martial arts in Australia. Also with the most dogs' heads tattooed on his chest. But on a serious note, I would love to be remembered as someone that laid an alternate pathway to the 3-fight amateur system and then going pro, going international and losing because you're not experienced. I've approached it in a amateur boxing way, and I would like to see people look back at Joe and go, that's the blueprint that we're going to follow for success at a higher level.
Actually, we'll just touch on that a little bit. Yeah, I do feel like the amateurs has turned a little, like people not protecting their records, but thinking that
100%, mate. And it's okay to lose as an amateur. No one likes losing. I fucking hate it. It burns me. But why not learn when the risk is less? You've got big gloves on. You're not getting elbowed. Fight the best guys, do your apprenticeship. Then when you get to the professional ranks, it's not new to you. You're not panicked. You're good to go. And you can express yourself in however you want because you're confident in your abilities. You can talk a bit of shit. You can do the route I have and be a confident, really good-looking guy. You can do anything you want as long as you have that solid foundation. And I think a few guys... a lot of guys on the amateur level, some people I know included in the local scene, think they're more than they are. You're a fucking amateur. You've had 2 fights. Yeah, you're cool in your area and everyone thinks you're fantastic. There's more to it. There's fucking Dagestanis, there's Swedish dudes, there's guys in Europe with 50 to 60 fights and they're fighting every weekend to no fanfare, but they're doing their apprenticeship and then they get to the big leagues and they mop the fucking floor with everyone. And I think I don't want to name names, and I won't, but when a lot of Aussies have gone international and fought in bigger organisations, it's their first trip overseas and they fucking wig out and they don't perform to the best of their abilities that they would maybe in their backyard. So do your time and then you can do the crimes.
I guess it's a very similar question, but if you did have any advice to any younger fighters, what would you say?
Stay off the beer and don't be a dumb cunt. Nah, but...
that is one of the best post-fight questions ever.
On a serious note, get yourself a girl that will support you. You don't want headaches at home. Get yourself a team that loves you for the person you are and not what you're capable of doing, because long-term success is very important as opposed to short-term success. Train all ranges. If something is out of your comfort zone, go towards it. You don't like jiu-jitsu, do more of it. You don't like striking, do more of it. And then hopefully that's the recipe for a great life.
Jeez, well, there's no better way to end it there. It's been a lot of fun, but really insightful as well. Joseph Luciano, thank you so much for taking the time. You both impressed me and scared the shit out of me.
That's the goal.
Thanks, mate.
Thank you.